but there's a lot of hard work that we put into it, but it doesn't feel like work. And that's what you should strive, everyone should strive for in their life, is to find something, even if it's a hobby, but find something that gives you purpose and makes you feel good about what you're doing.
Everybody wants to be something they're not and have shit they ain't got. Don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. Just be nice. You don't have to be that guy. Show some respect. Just be a person. Love one another.
Here we go, clap it out. 1, 2, 3.
Why is this stiff? Why do I get so stiff? I don't understand.
Dude, you are not stiff. You are not stiff compared to where we first started with this podcast and now.
Come on, and now I'm doing shit like this.
Look at you. Fluidity. Just fluidity.
Non-binary.
Non-binary fluidity. We are a non-binary podcast. We definitely are encouraging ourselves and our listener base to not take sides.
And see, something just happened whenever we said that. My mind wanted to say, but we don't mean to offend you.
Well, you know what?
Like,
if you're offended, why don't you take a big step back, look inside of yourself, and ask yourself why you're offended.
Right.
Why are you offended that we identify as being non-binary?
Mm-hmm. And why don't you identify as being non-binary?
I'm not talking about sexuality, unless you are.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think.
Ken doll crotch over there?
You what?
You got nothing going on?
No, there's a little something there.
Okay.
It's squishy right now, but it's cool.
Really? Let me feel.
No, dude, what the fuck? Do it under the table, brother.
Okay. On the sly.
Do it under the table.
Yeah,
Don't reach.
like...
That felt weird.
But we've come a long way. I think as people and as a show. And I know that going back to watching the first episode compared to like the intro episode, which was the very first episode of your introduction to you now, dude, you are I knew you were always going to be a fantastic co-host, but now you just like,
I've gotten a little bit better for sure.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
So much more comfortable.
Yeah. That first episode was pretty painful to watch whenever it first came out or when I first saw it. I did learn to kind of accept it though, just as like a snapshot as to just where I was and just how I thought of myself and how I've been looking back through the seasons and stuff and just seeing some of my takes. And I mean, obviously, it's been a year. And
yeah,
I believe in change, that things can change. And so my takes on some of that stuff has actually changed. I mean, that sounds crazy, but it's really not.
Well, we say it in practically every episode that we're ever changing, ever evolving.
Yeah,
if you're not, then you're not living.
You're not doing it right because the human species is a work in progress.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, imagine if we were just, this is what we're stuck with.
Yeah.
And like, there's just why would you even leave your house? You wouldn't.
So how are you feeling about where you are now compared to where we started when we started this podcast a year ago?
I'm feeling, I mean, obviously I generally feel good about it.
Yeah.
But there has been times.
But no, like how do you feel you've changed?
Oh, how do I feel I've changed?
How do you feel you've evolved since we started?
Well,
and has that been through personal growth? Has it been about us talking about a lot of these topics and making you thinking?
It's a little bit of both. I think it's been personal in a lot of ways, like just on my own. Yeah, I've had a pretty heavy helping of just not like trashy self-help stuff, but more self-discovery things, more things that point to truth that I maybe didn't realize or you really can't understand it. The truth is kind of outside of our things that can be objects of our knowledge, but you can definitely feel them.
Yeah. And
I've had a lot of that, and it kind of on the spiritual path a little bit. But it's helped me here though. Yeah. In a lot of ways, it's helped me actually be able to, put it to the test.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's nice. You know, a lot of my growth has been kind of getting over some just deep, just maybe unconscious or conscious beliefs that I have held, which, you know, the beliefs that people hold a lot of times don't hold water.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm slowly starting to just, it's a good feeling to have an illusion die, you know, here and there.
Amen.
And I think everybody needs that.
Amen to that.
But something about doing this podcast on sometimes when I'm here to be challenged, or we're challenging ourselves or challenging ideas and stuff, it almost feels like a shame to like, I'm like, holy shit, like we're reaching out to other people. Yeah. And although it's nothing to fear because we're of the same. Yeah. It's like, I don't feel like I'm a authority on this, you know, and it kind of gets your heart rate up because you're like, I'm feeling a little self-righteous by like talking about it. Like, here's what you should do with your life, you know? And I'm like, you know, those thoughts creep in. Like, do I even know what I'm doing in my life? You know, like how am I actually, like, you want to put your best foot forward and obviously kind of not because you're in front of people, but you want to tap into as much of the good stuff as you can when you're talking to other people, especially on a podcast that's all about that. Yeah. But it's like, if you have to kind of examine yourself in real time and really be there before those kind of thoughts come in, like doubting, you know, just. I like. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that kind of feel? I mean,
you may have started out thinking, I think, in a slightly different direction than what our overall mission was, and I think this was again, the wife has accused me once or twice of getting a little too preachy.
Yeah, there you go,
preachy, and that's not to say that we don't want to encourage people to do something to better their lives. It doesn't make us necessarily authorities on it, but this. What we have always strived, and our core mission with this podcast has been to get people to just think. Because we do, everybody, again, myself, you guys, everybody here, we all just do so much subconsciously. We don't think about anything. We take everything at face value. Not everything. We take so much at face value. And it's a lot of it has to do with the biases in the media that we've consumed and what have you. That doesn't mean that we want anybody to think like us. We don't want anybody to. What we want people to do is to take the life lessons that we have earned and suffered and earned
and process them yourself.
Yes,
like and that's the thing. Like,
and if that applies to them and they can apply it to their life, the solutions that we've come to, that we have made to conquer whatever, or not even conquer, but at least tame some of our perceived shortcomings in our own life. If that knowledge that we can impart onto somebody else helps them, again, by all means, try it our way. But that doesn't mean that our way is the only way. Yeah. But hopefully that gets them thinking.
Right. And I think if a lot of people hold a negative view of themselves, there's a journey for you that is it's a journey of no distance, and it is basically from negative to zero, to be zero. What it's like to just be and just not feel like, you know, and try to use that when you're approaching situations. Come at it from if the conversation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're zero. Yeah, and you just are there. You know, and it's not like something else you have to do. It's just maybe trying to get people to just process things in a more neutral, not passive, not like, you know, and that's kind of the struggle. Yeah. It's like, because when you're too neutral, you're too like pushy, pulley.
Laissez-faire.
But there's a balance to it. And I'm over this year, I'm trying to, you know, learn that balance and realizing that I'm the eternal subject to my own reality, and so is everyone else. So
eternal subject to his
I can
own
never
reality.
be the object of my knowledge. If there is a part of me that's an object to my knowledge, it's bullshit. It's
blowing my mind.
It's an impression that I've had.
I think okay.
I'm suffering my memory at that point.
I think you've grown a lot more than I have
No.
in this last year. I would like to thank you for pushing me in the direction of more philosophy, different like again Alan Watts, man. We talked about him a lot, but the more I've dug into the Alan Watts and his version of philosophy and the metaphysical side of things,
and his creamy voice,
in this creamy his screamy creamy voice. The more I've dug into that, the more, and the metaphysical side of philosophy, the more I've noticed and seen just how interconnected everything is. I used to make the joke when I first got on the music scene years ago, and I started traveling at least the Southeast. I saw a lot of people that like I met in Lafayette, Louisiana, in like random places all over the country. And I would see them, I go, man, this is a small world. It's like, well, the world in this philosophy that I'm coming, again, full understanding is, again, incomprehensible. But the more I come to acknowledge, maybe it would be a better word, acknowledge this metaphysical existence, is that the world is simultaneously infinitely large and like grain of sand small.
right?
And it's everything just being so interwoven and interconnected, and lives, the butterfly effect, my decision to start this podcast
Starts it. Yes.
it starts a journey for you, for maybe some of our listeners. And without you being the catalyst in my life to expand my thoughts on philosophy and belief and the way that I look at the world, I would never really, well, I may have, but I would have gotten into the more philosophical side of life.
Yeah. Well, you can call that, you can thank me, but for me, like, I feel that maybe.
Well, I'm thanking you for being the catalyst.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. You thank the universe because
Yes.
so somehow, by some sort of, if you want, I'm just going to call it grace. By some sort of grace, my experiences led me there.
Yeah.
Which led me here, and then was able to,
It's all interconnected.
yeah, like this right here.
Pow.
Man, touch is a good sense, man.
Touch is a good sense. Under the table touch.
That happened.
It's the no touch.
That happened.
It's my danger zone. Yeah.
But it's been a good experience so far, and I'm really looking forward to continuing and expanding the directions that it's continuing.
It's been a great year. Been a great year, and I'm really happy with all the content that we put out. There are some episodes that we will not release, unfortunately,
Because they're super racist.
Okay, I want to link in this.
They're not.
Put a flag, Dustin. I want to make a note. I'm gonna link it in the description for Avenue Q.
Yeah, everyone's a little bit racist.
Everyone's a little bit racist.
Sometimes.
Well, I spoke on this briefly. I don't know if we'll actually air that episode. We'll see if that episode was worthy of being played.
Yeah.
But again, that's basic human evolution, human nature is we judge everyone.
Yeah, don't feel guilty about being racist. Just don't be racist. It's part of
There's
it.
the out of context clips that we need right there.
Someone's going to Frankenstein that shit. And I couldn't care less. So.
You know what? If it hits CNN, at least we'll,
something will come out of it.
Oh, God. But it's basic human evolution. Evolution is, we judge each other based on appearance, based on actions.
It's on anything, man.
And again, but it's how we respond to these instinctual impulses that define what kind of person you are. So you have to acknowledge that you have these biases towards people that don't look like me, dress like me, act like me, play music for a living, work a regular 9 to 5. This is just this is how I see the world. And I see the world through my lens and through an evolutionary lens. But that doesn't make me a bad person, a bigot, or
right.
my actions and the content of my character defines who I am.
Right.
And because I choose to not give power to those instinctual, judgmental impulses, aside from the impulse to get with my wife and marry that ass.
You got to do that.
But what brought me to her is a physical attraction, and then I fell in love with her. It's big, beautiful. We're gonna go with brain because she's a smart, sexy lady. But
metaphysical like that and the spiritual perspective isn't a swearing off of all the physical because it's all here.
Yes,
somehow it's more like you said, it's my TV set, and it's like if you want to settle for that, then just realize that you're settling into a very limited view.
Yeah.
So like, but if you view it as like, okay, here's my TV set, and I'm experiencing the world and through my senses and everything, and all my thoughts and things that come up, but it's not just mine, it's everyone.
Yeah.
Like the awareness that we're bringing to everything, it's just a word, awareness, but you need to know what it means. It's not like my awareness is separate from your awareness, but some of those judgments can make it feel that way.
Yeah.
They make it feel like it keeps you from connection. It keeps you from being like having moments with others,
yes.
And really
because you're giving power to that instinctual judgment,
right? Because you're just
somebody
you're immediately
that doesn't
identifying
fit in
with
your
it.
tribe or your ideology group or whatever.
And at that point you don't have any power over it, and at that point you are that.
Yes,
in that moment, that's just that's just how it is right then. I mean, that's not you in your totality.
Yeah,
couldn't be, but it's just if you don't bring in that awareness, then that's how you are in that moment.
Yes,
that's you.
Yes.
So
now we did take a brief break from some recording over the summer, the late spring and summer, because we're doing some self work. You were talking about the self help.
Well, I'm still doing self work.
Well, I mean, we all
but
are.
I realize you just can't.
Again, that's the goal of the podcast, is to encourage more self work.
Yeah, but you can't. That's really one of the scary things about doing the self work, is like making it a serious part of like now my identity is the guy who's doing the self work.
That's not
no, it's not. It's not. I'm saying, but some people can take it there, and it's easy to do and be like, and just like not go anywhere, and just like realizing how much is fucked up, and then being like, God damn, I got to get all this right before I can do anything anymore.
Yeah.
But you can't challenge yourself that way.
Well, I meant it when I said it. I supported it, and I still support it.
You have to
100%. And as much of a bummer as it was for me that we weren't recording as often as I would like, your overall mental health and well-being and happiness, and you need personal time to find an answer to this, or to just ask a question about this, and to figure some stuff out. There's not enough people that'll like gladly support that or encourage that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the positive things that I think we've all kind of gotten out of this, you guys included, gotten out of just making the podcast, is that we've all gotten to know each other a lot better over the course of this last year. But also we're all understanding more, I think, of what it is to work on yourself and work on your own mental health. You can't,
Absolutely.
It's unhealthy to be miserable at your job. It's unhealthy to be to not pursue a passion and to just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off.
It's a form of slavery too. If you constantly allow all this to decide, if you don't say, okay, I'm the manager here, this is my house, I'm going to start deciding. I'm the decider on like what's going on in my inner space.
Yeah.
Then you're a slave. I've been that way for too long.
Yeah.
And it's just like just random little thoughts or just stuff where I just immediately, I'm like, that's like such a weight to it, and it's such an ego thing. It's like, that was my thought. I can't believe it, and just the guilt, and just never allowing it to just be there and just not feel guilty for it and just move on.
I mean, I still go through bouts of that scenario.
I mean, I do too. I'm just saying,
but that I went through a lot more of that when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Because you're still, again, I'm still figuring out who I am, obviously, but I have a much better idea now as I've gotten older and progressed, and my ideologies have broadened because I'm, again, trying to be more open to the world. But as as you progress as an adult and turning into the person that you're going to ultimately be, which at the end is whatever. But that is all just part of the process, and it's going to happen on a more regular basis in a positive way,
right?
As your life progresses, and you in my experience,
right?
If you're approaching it the way that I think you've approached it,
yeah. Well, you also can't like that. I agree with you on a lot of that, and I just something I want to add to it is just that whole, in the end, what am I going to become? Like most people, you won't know until it happens. You can't predict that kind of shit.
Yeah,
and you can't wait for a moment
but
because that like you really can look like if your brain's like, oh no, if you're trying to do self work and your mind's gonna try to say, well, there's something more important I need to think about.
Yeah,
or I need to do this first. I can't have my peace of mind until fold on my clothes. Yeah. Just pause and just realize that like that fulfillment and you doing the self work is your mind's telling you that it's going to happen in the future, but you can look for yourself and see that the future is not there. I can look and see that the past is gone. I'm not saying you shut the door on it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's gone, and the future is just not. I can look right now and see that the future does not exist. And at this moment isn't a
false construct of our minds.
What I'm saying is there's no right time to do this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no perfect time.
No, the perfect time is
always now.
Is always
because
always
that's
now.
all there ever is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
but again, I appreciate and respect the work that you've done on the podcast, obviously, but again on yourself, because when we finally got back towards, was it the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, when we got back together. But yeah, it was in the fall. It was at the very beginning of fall.
September?
I think it was September.
Yeah.
Because we took off pretty much the whole summer. And when we got back though, is like you were on another level of like enthusiasm and how you brought your conversation to, this folding table.
Yeah, it's changed
in a very much a positive way.
Yeah.
And in my experience, anyway, that's the way my perception of your progression.
Well, I appreciate it. It's just I can't. I appreciate that. You just can't take that prize and then just be like, all right, this is good, and then like just don't do any more work. You have to continually one up yourself. In some ways,
ever growing, ever changing, ever evolving.
Yeah, it's not like you can't. It's not like you're not at peace with yourself. You just realize like there's just in this lifetime, there's just life to be lived, and there's just a lot more of it.
Oh yeah,
there's just a lot more.
Oh yeah,
there's too much to know, and there's just just enjoy being here and being alive. You know, feeling what it feels like.
What about Dusty?
He loved that you. Just
I was doing
some
producer stuff.
You were doing some producer stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how are you feeling after a year being a part of this?
I think it's pretty cool that me and Andrew both turned 21 while we were during this whole season. That's pretty interesting. Overall, I feel more, I guess,
of an alcoholic.
No.
This is 21. I'm just saying.
Not yet. No. I feel
right here. No,
you want me to get a little bit closer?
Just a little closer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I feel like I've become more comfortable in just, I don't know, conversation. Seeing you guys put yourselves out there the way you have on this platform, kind of the way it's made me feel more comfortable with my perspective on life, I guess.
Yeah.
And having conversations with people about it.
Yeah. Sharing is caring, man. And again, you've brought off camera before the microphones, both you and Andrew have brought up a lot of really good points that we've actually talked about in the podcast. And now that we finally have this fancy setup working correctly now, I'm looking forward to not just this episode with you guys actually talking and interacting, but also in season 2. I'm looking forward to hearing more of you guys in real time, not like pre-show or post-show. Adding you guys into the mix, because y'all have a lot of, and in my opinion, valid input.
And same with people at home.
Throw some thoughts out there. We just need a camera on us now. I mean, that's.
I've got another camera. I'm just saying. We're going to have 25 cameras in this shoot.
A little cutaway right here.
Yeah,
Start
okay.
talking.
Well, again, I've got a GoPro and I've got
We need to get
I've
him
got
a-
another Sony camera.
We need to get one of those neck things. With
The first person shooter.
POV shot.
That'd be cool.
I know Andrew has a first person shooter. How are you feeling after being this for a year? You had touched on it briefly before we started rolling.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, pretty much along the same lines as Dustin. Just in general, I feel like it's helped me focus on being more of a better person, I guess you could say, as far as thoughts and ideas, and to it really just like accepting who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And learning to be okay with it and just being overall a better person.
Being you, being all the you can be.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I've even considered, after experiencing this and being a part of it, doing my own small kind of some kind of podcast for myself.
I'm all about it.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
I'll produce it.
Yeah.
How's that? You guys produce the Brain Snacks podcast. I'll produce your podcast.
I would do.
And I'll help.
I want to do it. I'm very interested in doing a solo podcast, which I think is for crazy people, to be honest. But I think I could ramble to myself.
Well, I'm getting more and more comfortable talking to a camera by myself. But if you don't want to start with the camera, it's a lot easier to just ramble onto a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, that's one thing that I've gotten a lot better at, is like talking to the camera. I much rather prefer having a conversation with you, but as I've done it more. I've done more practice actually talking to the audience at home and not just talking, to a Figment.
Yeah.
But if you remove the camera side of it at first, if you just did an audio podcast, you'd be amazed at how much more comfortable you would be, because you don't feel like somebody's constantly watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that I was uncomfortable with when we started doing the podcast. Straight out of the gate, I was like, okay, yep, I want cameras.
Yeah,
I want to do a podcast, but I want it to be a video podcast.
Right.
It's because I was always comfortable with it, because I don't.
You're a sexy beast, bro.
No, I just don't. No, I'm married, and I really don't care what anybody actually thinks of me visually.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the self-image episode. It's just me being content with who I am as a person. That somebody else's negativity, I'm not worried about somebody judging me.
Yeah.
I don't judge me, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And I remove the option for that negativity to affect me.
Yeah.
I think
what I'm
that
saying.
perspective is why I want to do it, is because I want to kind of prove to myself, like, yeah, I want to do this thing. And
Yeah.
I don't want to care about like what other people think. I just want to do it for fun and see what happens. So it's kind of opened me up to those things like that.
Well, that's what this podcast is for. Hopefully we can build it and develop it into something, bigger and better. But again, this is a passion project, still is, for all of us involved. Nobody's actively getting paid right now. We started selling some Brain Snacks merchandise, which will be available in 2022.
Which
And
is
also-
like next week.
Yes. Well, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
When this
I just wanna make
airs,
sure you know.
when this airs, it'll be January or February when we'll have the shop open.
Yeah.
But we're also going to run up some subscription campaigns. So if you want to donate to the show, we will be providing a link if you want to donate to the show to make it better, and to maybe add some encouragement for us to actually get together to do this a little bit more on a
Right.
regular basis.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about us getting paid full time.
It's not that we need it, but it's just, it's nice. And it allows us to do some stuff that we maybe, been talking about doing for the future.
Well,
Just having a little bit more.
maintaining our Podbean subscription. So we have to pay for hosting, for unlimited hosting.
Hmm.
And then we also have the website hosting, which is right now is on Jaxon's card.
Yeah.
And then the Podbean's on my card. And then a lot of this gear, again, it just doesn't come for free. Now, we're not saying that you need to just give us money. If you get value out of the show and you feel that you want to donate whatever dollar amount you see fit. If you think we're only worth a penny, send us a penny.
Because we will laugh and have fun with
That'll
that.
be funny as shit.
Yeah, that'll be laughter, which is even better than money.
And also, we want to encourage you. Dustin brought this up, and you can cycle it up if you want. but he brought up, we want you guys to start interacting with us more. We want to hear your ideas. We want to hear your thoughts on the episodes. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. Let us know what you think about an episode.
And we'll tell you, we don't give a what you think.
More so, I was thinking suggestions for content. Like, hey, this is a topic that we'd love to hear you talk about.
Topics and ideas. Right now, we have the Brain Snacks Podcast Facebook group, and that's all you have to search for. Brain Snacks Podcast on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. I would like to add some functionality to the website and maybe do a forum.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't be that difficult to do.
And that'd be a good place to have people come and exchange ideas and
commune,
and just
communicate, but also commune.
Yeah, we want that on this show,
and to take we want to hopefully build a community around building each other up with positivity,
for sure,
and constructive criticism, because all positivity all the time does nothing but enable people.
Mm-hmm.
But constructive criticism, when applied in a kindly manner, in a constructive manner, does nothing but help build somebody up. Because if you don't point out where somebody's falling short, how do they know to fix a problem if they don't know they're a problem?
Yep.
And not enough people are willing to be constructive with their criticism. They'll just automatically just flat out say, you suck.
Yeah. I mean, it could like, sometimes people don't want to hear it because they're so identified with that part of them that's a problem.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
Yes.
And it I mean, there's all, it's humans are complicated. But as far as like things like whether it's serious problems like addiction and like alcoholism, sometimes like in the brain, the connections are made between the problem and something that they love too.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't feel like they can, give that part of them up yet.
Yeah.
So it's like hard to get to people like that.
Yeah.
But it's necessary.
It is necessary.
So
it's necessary for personal growth.
Mm-hmm. Has to be.
And one more time, we don't want you guys to actually necessarily think like we think.
No, that's not
we
the
just
point.
want you to think.
Yeah.
And be open-minded. Be open to criticism, but also be open to sharing your ideas and yourself with the world. Don't be ashamed of that. Never feel like you aren't good enough. Anybody that ever tells you that you're not good enough, you send them my way. I'll tell them to go eat a bag of dicks.
I'll provide the bag of dicks.
Boom! Brain snacks.
BS. Bullshit. Sorry.
So yeah, you guys please go to our website, brainsnackspodcast.com. Send us a message. Send us some suggestions. Season 2 is going to be coming out sometime in 2022. It may be a while before we actually start releasing new episodes.
Due to the nature of our next season.
Our next season, we're going to still do, I think, we're going to have to do some one-off episodes, but we're going to start diving into some conspiracies and conspiracy theories, conspiracy facts, conspiracy snacks. Ooh, I like that one.
Damn.
Conspiracy snacks.
That's good.
Okay, well,
Catchy.
we'll set a flag for. I need to save that as a line for later. But we just want to encourage more critical thinking, and I also want to shine a light on how ridiculous it is to shun somebody for having an opinion, idea that differs from the societal accepted norm.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the official narrative, but I disagree with most of it. Yeah, I can see it, but no, I don't. That like automatically you're branded a conspiracy theorist, and then you're Alex Jones tinfoil hat kid,
Right. Which is, I mean,
which I am that kid, but still.
Yeah, well, like it's good to at least if you don't have that part of you at all,
Mhm.
And you are just more of a official narrative consumer, then this podcast might help to get that radical child inside and that crazy guy just stirring around a little bit. And you can figure out how to balance those things.
Perhaps on a certain level, that something doesn't add up.
Yeah. And you don't even know how but you just...
And maybe this is the push you need.
Yeah. And you should feel.
And maybe the official narrative is the correct narrative. I don't know.
We don't know. And
we may never know. But we're going to dive in because this is Brain Snacks, Conspiracy Snacks.
With Jaxon Max. Why did I say Jax first? Why isn't it Max and Jax?
Because I wanted you to be first. Even though it was my idea to do a podcast.
I just want to thank my mom. I just thank everybody that just got me here. Just made me first. Yeah. What's this?
Here. You thank the Academy. You thank the Academy.
I don't fucking know. I'm at a loss, man.
But no, this podcast, I formed the idea, whatever. This, as soon as you came on board, it stopped being my podcast. I market it to people at shows by giving them stickers or selling t-shirts now. I marketed at shows by saying, here's my podcast. That's it.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean,
but the reason I put your name first, I insisted on your name being first, was not alphabetical. It had to do with making sure that you felt ownership in this podcast. That
this is all new information to me, but
on a subconscious level, I guess I kind of manipulated you here. This is how manipulation works. You didn't even know it.
Is this even real?
Is this even real?
What the fuck?
Whoa, man? Wavy lines, please, wavy lines. But no, it was to let you know that I didn't want to take full control, full direction of this. I wanted you to know that this was not. That. Thank you. Because if it was just me, like, why would I even need a Jaxon?
Right.
If I just wanted to spit off, my thoughts into the world without bouncing them off of somebody else. And yeah, we do, to an extent. I will acknowledge that maybe we have some confirmation bias to a very slight degree because we have very similar mindsets. But we have similar mindsets in the respect, in my opinion, that we're both open-minded and we're both attempt to be critical thinkers.
Right.
Now, whether or not we succeed in any of this, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's real time and it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that's happening is real. I mean, if we slip up and one of our biases slips out, it really slipped out. I mean, it's just that's how it is.
It's just another thing for us to acknowledge.
It's just something for us to work on. And it's something for you to get off in the forum with, if you want to do it that way or however.
Troll away. Yeah. Please, troll away. Dude, let us know what we need to work on.
I was talking about the name of the podcast. It made me think, maybe you guys should have your own little brain snacks, sometime and just be Brain Snacks AD. Which I'm a Misfits fan, so I'm thinking of Earth AD. That's a nerd moment. Sorry.
Well, no, I was
going with
whatever. With biblical
time.
Yeah. Biblical chronologic.
A long ass time ago.
What's that word? But no, BC 80.
Yeah. I don't know.
Before Christ, after death.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's y'all know that, right? That's
I thought it was
the year 2021. It's 2021 AD, after Christ's death.
Oh.
There's your conspiracy. There's your first conspiracy right there, is the Vatican's complete control over time.
But time is
measured. Time is measured
based off
Christ.
But time is just an experience. Is nothing.
BC, before Christ. And then after Christ's death.
I'm going to go ahead and empower you guys, though, because if you think that the Vatican's in control of time, just realize that you're perceiving time. Time isn't perceiving you. So,
we went by like the Mayan calendar or whatever it was.
There's ways to translate the two back and forth.
Oh.
And the Mayan calendar, again, 2012, I thought the world was going to end, man. Oh.
Did you believe that?
No, not really. But I had a shot. Chrissy got me a shotgun for Christmas. So I had it just in case. But no, it was.
I did too. I was like excited about it, I was like, oh God.
Yeah, I mean, I was sketched
I think
out.
I realized it.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys were.
I was 11 or 12.
Top. Nope. The year 2000, 1999. Y2K. Y'all weren't even born yet. Yeah. No, Y2K, it was, they thought that the entire banking system was going to collapse.
Crash. Yeah.
Collapse because they could only use 2 digits to specify a year on the computers back in the day. Isn't that funny? Looking back, 21 years ago.
Yeah.
You would why are they limited to 2 numbers for the year? It was to save computer space because you only had
That's
tiny
wild.
little hard drives.
That's wild.
Floppy disks.
Floppy wieners. I got one of those.
I got your floppy disk right here. Well, I mean, it's a hard disk right now looking at you. That's why your name is first.
There you go.
That's why your name is
you
first,
go.
because you're the better looking of the
There you
two.
go. Jacks on, jacks off.
But no, this has been a great year. And this first season has been a wonderful experience for me. I think I can speak for the rest of you guys. You can speak up and you have your own mics, but I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of it. This has been the best. Like I love my job as being a pygmy. I really do. I love performing. I love entertaining, but this is just like a different kind of outlet.
Yeah.
And I know that I know that my podcast, if I were to have gone a solo run with it, it would not have been as good. Not by far. It would not have been as good. And I can't thank you enough for being a part of it. And again,
I appreciate it.
you can take your trophy home with you.
Mm.
And again, Dustin, the one thing, I think I mentioned it in the intro, but you jumped on board as soon as I told you I wanted to do a podcast. You were like, I want to produce it. First thing out of his mouth when I said it. And it was the day we were playing that outdoor event by the water, was when Jaxon came to the show. And that was when I grabbed him and I went, hey, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. Would you be interested? And he was like, okay.
Was it Cedar Creek?
Yeah. Cedar Creek Jam.
Yeah. It was Ben?
Yeah. That was
when we decided?
Yeah. Well, I asked you if you were interested and you said, oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
And then I text you like, a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
Once I had some downtime because the
remember
pygmy
that,
schedule is just wacky.
Yeah.
It's definitely become more than I ever would have thought. Like,
Yeah.
just so much creative energy has gone into it.
Yeah.
And that was, I've always wanted to produce a podcast, right? Or be a part of making a podcast happen. But I never thought it'd be like, I don't know. We've made something, I think it's cool.
Again, I think, I know for me anyway, I'm extremely proud of what we've done. The content that we put out, the messaging that we've done, and the quality. Again, I could do all of it on my own, but there's no way it would be this good.
Yeah.
And it's just the group effort,
Makes all the
difference. We're still in the honeymoon period because we don't do it like every week because it doesn't feel like a regular job, but there's a lot of hard work that we put into it, but it doesn't feel like work. And that's what you should strive. Everyone should strive for in their life, is to find something, even if it's a hobby, but find something that gives you purpose and makes you feel good about what you're doing.
For sure.
And that's what this podcast does for me.
Couldn't agree more, man. Like, I had some thoughts. I just kind of lost them. I was just listening.
I'm sorry. I
good.
monopolized that.
You're good. Like that. You hit the nail on the head. Want to put more energy and just into this.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully, like I said, scheduling allowing, we can get together a little bit more on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
And again, at least with the audio setup now, it should be a lot faster for because this all comes down every recording. My desk and everything, the whole backdrop, this is real life. This is my desk. This is where I work. But his mic comes down, this table goes down. We have some soundproofing in a way. I would love to get a space.
Yeah.
And Dustin's talked about having a dedicated space, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. But this feels like home now.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it is your fucking home.
but no, like I'm talking like the brain snacks. Home.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
I'm open to change though.
A space would be huge
I'm open to change. I'm open to change.
because having a space would allow us just to come in, sit down, and do it. you know?
Yeah.
And more consistently.
Well, I'm also thinking if you guys are going to have microphones and we can now visually check our audio, I'm thinking we get a slightly bigger table, 2 more chairs. And now you're on camera too, suckers. Deal with it. Just like,
I don't know about
wait.
Wait.
This is not what was discussed. Oh, little bitty frame in the bottom
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
I don't need to be doing.
I don't know about being at the table. you know?
Voice changer, mask.
Come on, everybody wants a seat at the table.
I'm Dustin Tree. They put them
Well,
on
welcome to
screen.
Raider Wrap Up with Dustin Trey.
Oh,
That's
God.
that's his mic check.
Well,
We need to dig.
we need to
Find a episode of this Raider wrap up.
We-
No, we
no.
do not. I will make sure they are deleted.
That can be one of the first things we
we
react
can download it from
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes.
It's on YouTube. I remember he showed it to us.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did. He did. He did.
It was a time frame in my life. It's
Yeah.
there. It's just
Yeah. Bring the suit back.
school. It was a school project essentially. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Hey,
But dude, it's
but that got you started. And well, gaming got you started
It
into
was
video,
yeah,
but
gaming, and then doing that got me more into camera stuff, and then editing that consistently.
so how can it be something that you're ashamed of if it led you to your current passion and your current occupation?
right. Can't
That's
be.
deep.
Own it.
That's deep.
Own
That
it.
shit happened, man.
That just happened.
Yeah.
Are we anything else anybody want to add? Let's go ahead and just
Put a big bow on
Put
it.
it-
Merry
put it-
Christmas.
put a
Merry
close.
Christmas, everybody. That's what I want to add.
Merry
I just
Krampus.
want to add Merry Christmas to everybody in here. Hail
Merry
Santa.
Krampus. Let's go ahead and
Hail Santa.
wrap up season 1. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Thank you just for supporting us. We hope that everyone's getting as much out of it as we are. This has been an incredible year of growth for us as individuals, for us as a show, and hopefully for you at home. And you're not just like, I know that some people just listen to this and, it's in the back of their mind. It's, something they're not consciously absorbing. But if you have time, go back and re-listen to some of these episodes. We touch on some issues that may be pertinent to you that you may not have realized. And be the change you want to see in the world. And your line. I want to...
Don't be a dick.
No, I was going to say do good recklessly.
Oh, do good recklessly.
but also,
but definitely don't be a dick.
yeah, no, right here. Wide angle. Let's 1, 2, 3. Don't be a
Dick.
God. See, I thought we were starting to share the same brain. This is like your, one.
Well, before
Sa-
you
sa-
did,
same.
don't be a dick. So I was
Okay,
like, kind of
one.
waiting on that.
Okay. Let's do that.
Like-
Let's do that.
Ready?
Don't
Be
a
dick.
one more time. Don't
Be
a dick.
Dick.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you with season 2 and maybe some rando episodes before we actually officially release season 2. So thank you, love you, and go forth and
Do man.
Did you subscribe?